So we are going live now. So in next few seconds we'll be live. So guys, we are live now. Hello everyone, this is Syed Muhammad Hassan, co-founder and CEO Sharing Out. So Sharing Out is a social enterprise working to connect neighbor with neighbors and businesses. So we are connecting neighbors with neighbor and businesses so the surplus food can be saved by sharing instead of wasting. And the vision of Sharing Out is to connect the amazing people together to change the world where everyone share food for other rather than wasting it away. Because every sharing makes a difference. So it's very simple, fast, and good for people and the planet. So our today topic of discussion is food waste is a waste of money, the role of communication to address a $1.5 trillion problem and a 700 billion opportunity. So actually, this webinar is going to have two main components that we're going to discuss in today's discussion. One is the waste of money associated with the food waste, and other is the role of communication. That how effective communication and different communication strategies we can use to address this issue and turn this $1 trillion problem into a $700 billion opportunity. So we have two very amazing panelists with us. First is Fariha Ehsan. Fariha is an international project management professional based in Pakistan with over 8 years of experience in financial inclusion, economic empowerment, and youth development. Fariha has managed more than 20 diverse projects, delivering training, building capacities, and developing solutions to solve complex problems for women economic empowerment and sustainable growth. She recently launched a platform, the Cash Memo, to provide useful tips and tools to utilize your limited money in effective and efficient manner. So currently, she is working on with a startup that actually educate people and tell people that how you can effectively manage your money and save from that. Our second very amazing panelist is Takwa Khalifi. She is from Tunisia. Takwa is a communication manager at Leone Wiring System in Tunisia with valuable experience in developing and promoting a culture for women empowerment in Tunisia and Chicago, USA. She studied community and leadership development at George Mason University and is a community solution program alumna. Takwa has been engaged in different projects related to gender equality, international development, SDGs, MUN, and education in Tunisia and the US. So thank you so much, Takwa and Friha, for joining us today. And we are very honored and humbled to have you for this very important discussion.
Thank
So
you.
if you would like to add something or any additional information to your bio, you are welcome to add. Fariha, first you, and then Takwa you.
As in, I would say that you introduced very well, but I would add that as you mentioned the cash memo, it's uh, advocating people to convince that, yeah, you can spend your limited money in a better way through planning and better planning, I would use the word. So, yeah, thank you for introducing.
Okay,
And
thank you
thank
for
you
correcting it.
to talk
Yeah.
about it.
So now, so now it's your turn, Takwa. Do you want to add anything
I
to
just
your
wanted to
bio?
say, thank you for inviting me for this interesting webinar, and I'm so glad I'll be part of it. Actually, I will not add a lot about my bio because the most things I'm working are related to the nonprofit sector in the NGO world. But now I'm working in the industry as a communication manager, and it is an interesting like job, and I really love communication. So yeah, thanks for having me today.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, okay, we are going to start our this conversation in a formal way. So, first of all, I would like to ask both of you, what is food waste according to you, and how you feel about it? So, Fariha, I would like to ask you to answer this, and then Takwa you.
See, I would like to describe the food wastage in a very layman or language, that all the leftover which we are not eating or consuming in our lives, or which is staying in our fridge or in our storage cupboards, that's the food wastage term. And that's an individual food wastage. Definitely you are throwing it in your bin, and then it's contributing to actually the 44% of total wastage in the world. So in a very starting from your fridge, that what you have not eaten from the last 1 week or 2 week or even 3 days, which you are going to throw in the next coming day, is contributing to the 44% of the wastage in the world. And that's you that described very small or act how contributing to the huge problem in the world.
Wow. So now, Takwa, you, what do you feel about food waste and how you define food waste?
Well, it's a good question. Let me start by saying that it's a very interesting topic that we're discussing now. Today, food is wasted throughout the food supply chain, starting from initial agriculture production down to final household consumption, meaning a waste of natural resources, and it's causing environmental impact. Actually, food wasted there are two kinds of food wasted: food loss and food waste. Food loss is the bigger category, and it incorporates the inedible food that goes uneaten at all stages. In addition to food that goes uneaten in stores, in homes, this includes crops left in the field, food that spoils in transportation, and all the other food that was uneaten and doesn't make it to a store. There are a very big amount of food that goes wasted in all stages of production. So for me, I think that throwing food is like stealing it from the poor people or the hungry people, and it's really unacceptable. If we see this word with so many people, like so many hungry people, the fact of wasting food, it makes no sense economically, environmentally, and ethically. In this world, with 7 billion people set to grow to 9 billion by 2050, wasted food, or the fact of wasting food, is really shames us all. And it's really shocking when you see the huge amount of waste of water and resources and energy that we use in food production. This is why we have to protect our planet. We have to take care of our food. I see that we really need more initiatives and more actions to make consumers and businesses think more about the consumption or the food consumption process. And I think that no one wants to waste food, right? So it's really important for me to make people think again about how to buy, consume, and only throw the food that we only need to throw. So I remember when I was young, my mom was telling me to finish my food, and she was emphasizing the importance of the huge work and effort behind the scene that the farmers do to create or to produce that meal. So I was always thinking about her wisdoms. So it's really important to respect our food, because respecting your food is respecting for farmers, for your mother, for the ones who created that meal, for the businesses, for people, for life, right? So wasting food or throwing good food is throwing or is wasting a good life. So it's really important at this stage to take care of our food, to rethink again about wasting food on or reducing the wasting food, and manage how to buy food or how to consume food to protect our planet and to respect our life.
Wow, that's really amazing. And like Priya talked about that 4% food goes to waste, and you very interestingly brought up, the food supply chain, and talked about that. Okay, my mother was saying me that don't waste your food, and save your food. So actually, I'm recalling one quotation. Actually, I forget the name of the person. There was a quotation that I would like to read here, which is actually, the wasting of food is actually stealing from the plates of poor. So like, it's a
Exactly.
very well said quotation actually. So
Hmm.
on the one hand, some people have abundance of food. On the other hand, the people who are actually searching food in the garbage, in the dustbin, and whatever they find, wherever they find, without caring that is it spoiled or is it fresh, or it may cause them different diseases, they just eat it because they need to fill their bellies. So I would like to ask that, first of all, I would like to ask Fariha that, could you please tell us that how food waste is a waste of money? Because like our audience really want to know that, in what way and where we are wasting money by wasting of food.
I would firstly focus on the individual or household level, that how individually wasting food is linked to wasting our money. And there are few numbers that if we are spending like around 18,000 rupee in a month on a food, 25% of that amount we are wasting. So if you calculate 18,000, 25% of 18,000, money we are wasting each month in that through food wastage. So that's at individual level. And if we see at the world level, we are the economic loss because of a food wastage is around $1 trillion. That's a
Wow.
huge loss that we all of the world are contributing. And surprisingly, it doesn't include the environmental and the social loss. That how much we are impacting to stealing from others, how much we are causing to the environment, how much it is causing the greenhouse effect we are creating through food wastage. So it's a huge money loss which we are doing because of a food wastage. And it goes back to the very basic fact that we are not planning. We are not planning that
Hmm.
how not to waste money. As Takwa mentioned that her mother was like always saying that don't waste it and stealing, because we are not respecting it, respecting our food. We are not giving that
Exactly.
action. We are not very careful about our action, small actions, that how these small actions are contributing toward that huge economic loss in the world. Even we are not conscious about our own budget, that how much money it's causing us to waste that money each month, and then how much like environmental cost we are causing to the world. And I would add on that that many people who are environment like conscious, they want to help the world. I would say are considerate in other facts or other aspects of life. They wanted to really wanted to do good, but they just ignored this fact and unconsciously they waste food. The very common example is that we all hang out and we have a leftover. Sometimes we just leave it there in the plates. We have not finished it, and that's a very small act we all are doing to contribute toward a huge economic loss. There are different like numbers that 25% of the hotel industry is wasting food, and that could definitely contributing to the economic loss. The hotel industry is also suffering that loss, and also definitely they are stealing, as Takwa mentioned, that food from the poor one. So we somehow we are not unable to understand, like we are unable to understand the whole the connection, that how all these small acts of food wastage are causing impact to the environment and money. Like even when we are talking about environment, sometimes we just forget about money, that how much money we are wasting through these food wastage act. And even the businesses are not conscious about it. Like as I spoke about the hotel, like hotel industry is not thinking about it, that how much food wastage is costing them money. They are trying to be efficient in their operations. They are trying to be efficient in their processes. They are trying to say, like, earn more money through offering the discount and all these things. But they are not even considering the fact that how much money they are wasting just because of food wastage. And because why they are not doing that proper planning to control that food wastage.
Very well articulated, Fariha. Actually, you actually, highlight the whole food system. Actually, you bring it up in a systematic way. There is a concept called system thinking. So where whenever we are trying to solve any issue, so we do not see that issue in isolation or in silos. We actually see in a way where we highlight all the components that actually causing that issue. So very well, explained that you highlighted all the components where you also talk about like environmental loss, and then you also talk about poor people, and then you also talk about actually the waste of money when we waste food into trash, and very well actually formulated answer you share with us. So here, like as you said, like what happens when we go to the restaurant? We have parties, we eat food, and we left half of it into our plate, and we even don't care about that. So I personally feel that there is somehow there is realization in our mind that okay, this is something that we are not doing right. So I would like to ask Takwa that what do you think? Like, if I have that realization, I'm wasting food in the way how Afriha, explained. So, if I'm trying to tackle this issue, how would I communicate it more tangibly? Like, I'm the one who are trying to communicate other people, like who are wasting this food, knowing that they have somehow they have realization in their mind. So, how I can communicate tangibly to those people?
Got you. As Freya mentioned it, the example of hotels and restaurants. There is like a huge waste of food that those people and businesses doesn't they are not aware of it. They are not aware about it. So the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations assumes that 1.3 billion tons of food is wasted per year, which is huge, right? Which is equivalent to one third to the food to the food produced and destined to human production, which is a very huge number or amount of food. So I see that the causes behind these ones is that the poor marketing practices, the human behavior or the consumer behavior, and the consumer patterns or businesses patterns. If I will tackle the issue of wasted food and food loss, I will target those things. I will target the communication strategies. I will target the food or I will target, I mean, the marketing strategies and practices, the human behavior or consumer behavior, and businesses patterns. Because at this point, I think that tangible communication should be useful or should be done through maybe internet, through marketing, through the interaction between the consumer and the provider. So I think at this point, the analysis of human behavior is very important to understand why they are not aware of it, why they are not aware about the food that is wasted. So we have to understand first the human behavior behind those habits or those attitudes first, in order to understand what are the more effective interventions or actions that we need to do in terms of communication, in terms of marketing. You got what I mean? So it's really important at this
Yeah.
stage. So I think that the first
Yeah, I
stage,
got you.
sorry. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got you. Carry on.
Okay, so I think that the first step should be understanding the human behavior, the business behavior behind those habits, And then it's a very good start because it will help you to understand what kind of communication you have to do or what kind of messages you have to do in order to make those or to reach those positive behaviors or positive behavior outcomes. And then follow it by communication planning, implementation, monitoring, evaluation. It's really important at this point to make campaigns, online campaigns, marketing campaigns. If, for example, let me give you an example about marketing and how we can do it through how we can reduce waste of food through marketing. For example, we can reduce the idea of buy one get one free sales promotions. You get everyone will buy a lot of things, so why buy in too much? So what Freeha was mentioned was telling about how to plan and how to plan before going to stores or before buying food. And it's a good idea to plan before going to stores, before shopping. You have to know what you really need in order to manage your consumption, in order to not get at those wasted food, in order to not get leftover or surplus food. You got what I mean? So it's really important to make tangible communication through like websites, through internet, through TVs, through radio. There's a lot of channels, a lot of processes to do that thing. So yeah.
So thank you so much. Yeah, sure.
I would add on that in one restaurant in Pakistan, Essence, that they have that banner that order the food you can eat, don't waste. And I really like whenever I'm going there, I really like that banner there. That okay, it's just giving you a very clear reminder before ordering the food that order the food as much as you can eat, don't waste it. So that's, I would
So
say, that
Got you.
very good example of
yeah.
a tangible communication to advocate people that okay, please try not to waste food.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let
So
me add
Priya, very
something,
well.
Ahsan.
Yeah, sure,
Sorry, let me
sure,
add
sure.
something. I remember some marketing or like smart tools to advocate for wasting food or for reducing wasting food. Some restaurants have the option of if you order some meals or some food and the food that's uneaten, they wait it for you and you have to pay for the amount of that food. You got what I mean? So you are obliged to eat all the food you have. You have to keep your plate empty so that you cannot pay.
So, okay, I would like to add two things here. First of all, Fariham, okay, so going more back. So, I want my next follow-up question could be that if there is, if I'm going to buy a bread in a bakery, so I go there and I find that there is an offer. I wanted to buy one bread, but there is an offer like if you're gonna buy this bread, you're gonna get one free. So I know that I'll be in my home like just for 1 week, or I would say just for 3 days. But and the one bread that I wanted to buy is more than enough for 3 days. But after seeing that, offer, I'm buying two breads. So you guys already answered this question, but here I wanted to ask you to add more on one another dimension, which is actually what is the role of I would say businesses, like if there is a business and the business is claiming that under their corporate social responsibility or whatever dimension, they are claiming that okay, they are zero food waste, or they are food who are they are businesses who are trying to reduce waste. And when you go to their outlet or their shop or their subsidiary, you find that these kind of option. Don't you think that this is something I would say this is kind of decisive marketing where we are forcing the consumer that no, buy this and waste this, not buy this and eat this, but buy
Hmm.
this and waste this. So what do you think about this marketing strategy, Fariha, in terms of money as well? You can add something.
I first of all, I would agree with your point that it's kind of a like deceptive or marketing strategy. That one way they are saying that it's a zero food wastage or zero like environment friendly, and the other way around, they are convincing the customer to buy that thing like on a discount rate, as you mentioned, the bread. But I would go back on that. See, they socially they are saying they are not the one doing the food wastage. They will convince
Yeah,
customer to do it. So it's like they have
exactly.
their conscious part to not waste the food. It's now the
So they're
customer
shift,
part to not waste the food.
so they're playing very smart. They're
I mean,
shifting their food waste to the customer actually.
so, as Papa mentioned, that you need to advocate people, you need to tell them all. So, it's not just telling the businesses because they can do that smartly because at the end they need money. They at the end they need to raise their profit. That's why they would be giving those 100 or 1,000 offers and options to the customer to convince customer. So we only not need to advocate the businesses. We need to advocate the consumer as well. And I would refer to the example that in developing countries, the food wastages in the or food losses in the processing and producing phase. But in the developed countries where you can say these consumerism is high, the food wastage is at a consumer level more. So that shows a very, I would say, interesting trend that how consumerism changed the food wastage at different level. In developing countries, it is very waste because of, I would say, innovation and solutions at that level of production and processing. But in a developed countries where they have controlled or developed the process and the innovation at the process and the producer level, but the consumer is not well aware. Consumer is not conscious about the food wastage, and consumer is the one who is responsible for food, and they are taking those offers which you mentioned that they'll see that it's a buy one get one, so they'll get the of taking one and at the end wasting that one bread. So that shows that who do we need to communicate, who do we need to tell that where are you wasting money, where is you need to plan. Like if we talk about in Pakistan, we need to advocate to the agriculture, we need to improve our processes. But if we talk about, let's say, US, we need to advocate the consumer about the food wastage. And
Very, very well aware consumer. We
don't,
need to advocate very well aware consumer.
yeah, they
Okay.
about the offers, but they are not well about the planning about their money and being environment respectable. I would say it's showing the respect to the money you have. It's showing respect to the food you have. It's showing respect to the environment around you. It's being
Exactly.
considerate for the things you have in life.
Exactly. So, Priya, you also mentioned about the banner in one restaurant that you saw, and it was mentioned that only get what you only get that you can eat, or something like this.
Yeah.
So, in our previous webinar, we also talked about this, and the question that we brought up was that, like, what after this? Like, okay, you place that banner, which is actually you are communicating to the consumer that don't waste food. So what if someone is wasting even after reading that banner? We are doing, what they are doing with that food, that after even seeing that banner, consumer are wasting. So we are also working on that issue that we'll be inshallah discussing in our forthcoming webinar. So I just wanted to add here, we also discussed this, a banner kind of stuff in our previous webinar, and there is a question mark that what after this? What is the next step if someone is going to waste the food?
That actually goes back to the point you mentioned that it's all about the system. We need to
Exactly.
consider all the components of the system and work on each component separately. It's not that we work on a
Yeah.
one component and then the one is there left out. It's not going to out at the end.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Exactly.
Friha, you also talked about consumer and businesses. You said that okay, the businesses are wasting in Pakistan, like in developing countries, more waste happens in businesses or in I would say production side, and in developed countries more food waste happen on consumer side. So would you like to highlight some facts and figure, or would you like to explain us that how waste of money is different for household and businesses when they waste food?
See, for household, it's wasting your income, which you can spend on a more better things. I would say. Let's say if I am the one who is wasting around 6 or 7 thousand a month through my unconscious decision of a food wastage. And if I could save that money, then I'll say that we all can imagine that what can I plan with that 6 7 thousand rupee in all the options I have. Like I can do more of the better things. And with a household, if you're reducing that food wastage, you're just not saving money for yourself. Goes back to the point that you are leaving that food for someone else to utilize. It's the two-way win-win game that you are saving your money and you are leaving that food for someone else to eat or consume. But if you go to the level of a business, I would say that in US they are spending a lot of money, around $220 billion, to just like spending on that food wastage money. That's the food wastage money, because they spend on production, they spend on transportation, they spend on that advertising, and then dumping as well. Because definitely, if you have put it in the bin at the end as a
Exactly.
consumer, the government or those organizations have to like recycle or something, do something with that waste as well. So they are spending that $218 billion amount on just on that food wastage, which they can save. And even if 20% of the food wastage is stopped, they can save around $100 billion. And that show these numbers are just to show the significance of the issue and how small acts country can contribute to saving a huge money. It's actually goes back that whenever, let's say, if we save $1 each day, it sounds like, oh, $1, it's nothing. What are we doing? Like many people even would not save a $1 like a day, because they'll say, oh no, it's not gonna help me. But if you see, you would be saving at $30 a month. And I'm not good in a math, but as in if you are, you can tell me that how much it would be here.
No, so here is the thing, like you are
Exactly.
educating people to save money and how to manage, your finances. You are saying me that I should, calculate that what is
No,
the like amount that we can save.
it's $360. I'm not that
Okay,
bad.
that's good.
That you can. So,
Don't
if
they?
$1 a day, you would be saving at $360, and that's very like mingled with the food wastage. As we mentioned, that if you are saving 25% of a 20,000 spent on the food, it means you are saving, let's say, to like around, I think, $10 to $20 a month on a food wastage. And if you goes back for a year, you are saving around $250 a year if you control on your habits for the food wastage. And that's just an individual math. If you goes like let's do this math for 10 people, and if one person is saving $250 a year for 10 people, would be 2,500, and it contribute to the nations. And that definitely goes
Exactly.
to the 1 trillion effect,
Exactly.
economic loss we are
No.
doing because of a food wastage.
So
Moving
the
This
on.
is
way you
why we need,
highlight it,
I mean, sorry, this is why we need to raise awareness about this, because in terms of
yeah,
communication, we don't need to only target businesses. We have to target those consumers, as she mentioned it. We have to mention those consumers because if we're encouraging them to save money, especially in these times, hard times after the coronavirus and the economic crisis that we are facing all over the world, it's a great time to encourage them to save money, because some people are, if we are like promoting or advocating for changing the behavior of people, they should feel that what you're talking about or what you're advocating for goes in their own interest. So this way they will not resist you, and they will think about it, and they will try to how to save money, and try to manage their food consumption.
So So, Takwa, would you like, as Fariha highlighted, that this is really a big issue and definitely behavioral element also involved in this. So, would you like to tell us what are the different information-based, techniques that we can use to change the behavior of the people, regarding to this issue? What are the different information-based strategies that we can use to communicate to the people as well as, the businesses to not waste food?
Behavior change. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Actually, okay. Actually, human behavior or changing the human behavior is a complex, like it's a complex concept. This needs like interaction between people and communities to communicate the importance of changing those behaviors. Like food management or consumption habits, it's not difficult to change, but we need more effective communication tools and strategies to get at that target. I think, as I mentioned it earlier, it's really important to understand what people need, and to understand their behaviors in terms of food consumption. So it would be like an easy way to develop communication strategies and approaches in order to reach that mindset, or that spirit or that positive behavior outcomes. I think we have to follow some steps in order to get at that point. We have to raise awareness about the huge waste of food, that so many people are not aware about it. As I said, the third of food consumption, or the food production in all over the world, is gone and it's wasted, which is a very huge amount. So many people are completely not aware about this, and it's like a fact of life today, and it's socially accepted. This is why we need more campaigns to raise awareness about the importance of this huge like issue. And then we have to make them think that there are solutions to reduce food waste. There are solutions, and we have to encourage them to take actions, and we have to encourage them to take actions voluntary, not things like campaigns, or not forcing them. We are encouraging them to buy one, not two. For example, here in Tunisia, we use a lot of bread, as you mentioned it in Pakistan. If I need one piece, I buy three. So why you're buying three pieces? So you got what I mean. So it's a huge waste of bread here in Tunisia. But it's really important to understand the consumer spirit and behavior, and then we need to highlight the importance of the impact of food waste on environment, on I don't know, on economy, on ethics. So they need to understand that this is a serious issue, that you need to take action to change your behavior, to plan ahead before shopping. You have to change yourself in order to help us reduce the food waste all over the world. So everyone should be aware that everyone should be aware that he's responsible of this process, or everyone should be responsible that reducing food waste is a responsibility of every one of us. It's not about businesses or only marketing, or how much I have to buy, or those like marketing strategies and so on. And one more thing is important in communication, to to have a tangible communication, you have to make it close to people. You have to make them feel it. You got what I mean? If I'm watching a video, for example, world food program, video of world food program about hunger in another country, so okay, I can see it, or I feel sorry about them and so on, but then I will move to my life. But I need to understand what you are doing after that. I need to understand, did you feel it or not? I need to know with what are the actions that you're gonna take regarding food waste issue. You got what I mean? So it's really important to target those people in the same context they are living in, or the same communities. If I'm watching an influencer, for example, on social media who is living, for example, in Tunisia or in the same city as I do, she or he are consuming the same products as I do, I will feel it like close. I can see the habits they are doing in their today in their daily food consumption. So I will feel like, oh, I can do this. Why not doing this? Oh, this is right. I can reduce the amount of food that I'm buying. I can buy one piece of bread. Why buying three? You got what I mean? So it's really important to take some steps in order to advocate for food waste and to help people rethink about it, raise awareness about it, and try to change their behaviors and their habits about shopping or storage or everything related to consumption, food consumption. So this way we
So
can get at that point.
So
Sorry?
very well articulated, Takwa. In your, answer, you highlighted that there is also an associated environmental cost as well as economic cost, and wastage of resources. So we'll be asking Fariha that he should actually tell us what is the environmental cost, economic cost, as well as resource that we waste with the food waste. What is the cost of that resources? But before that, I would like to ask you one question, or it's not a question, I just want to understand that what do you think, campaign like economic self-interest campaigns in communication, where a communication department use economic self-interest campaigns to motivate people for different kind of causes. What do you think, does this kind of campaign can make ways for the consumer or for the advocator to advocate people to not waste food?
Yeah, actually, campaigns is really powerful here, and internet today is making people one community. But it's really important to think about the sustainability of those campaigns. It's important to not like consider those campaigns or social media campaigns as trends. So you have to mention that sustainability is really important. You have to know that it should be like a lifestyle. It should be like food consumption method, or I don't know how to say it, but like campaigns. It's a very powerful tool to raise awareness. But I really need to understand what they are doing in their lives after seeing or viewing content or on social media, or after viewing some messages on marketing or on businesses, sometimes some messages on transportation cars, and what they are doing after this. You got what I mean? So it's really important
Yeah, I got you.
to continue to continue raising awareness about it, to helping them develop those habits or attitude. Maybe we can make like I don't know, maybe we can make easy receipts on social media, or and we can advocate or promote via TV for some storage tips, or some like food storage ideas or something like this. So there's plenty
Yeah,
of
very
ideas
true.
that we can use. Yeah, we can use
Yeah, yeah,
through like communication channels. Yeah, so
exactly.
communication is a very powerful tool here. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. So Friha, as you heard that Takwa has highlighted that there is also an associated economic, environmental plus resource that we waste. their cost, so what is that cost? Why, even in literature, everywhere people are talking about food waste is not just a food waste. There is environmental cost, there is economic cost, there is, wastage of resources. We are also bearing that cost. Would you like to highlight this, dimension to make it clear to our audience?
We talked about the economic and we started it with that economic cost is around 1 trillion, and the total like cost of food wastage is around 300 trillion dollar. And how it's like categorized in the different sectors, that economic loss is around 100 trillion, and environmental loss is around like around 800 billion dollars. And then what's the social cost of this whole food wastage problem is around 900 billion dollars. So that's a huge, and like approximately down to the 3 trillion loss to like composing of economic, environment, social. And as Taqwa was mentioning, that aligning with the consumer, it just happened to me that there is a one more cost involved, which we are not counting, and that's the health cost. It's definitely like impacting our health at individual level and at the social level. And at least this COVID has taught us that how this like and not about the environmental and wastage issues can cause the health issues. And this health
Yeah,
issue, go ahead.
yeah, go
Everything
on, go
is
on.
related. Mm.
Yeah, you're very right, Priya. You actually highlighted the health costs associated with food waste. So there is also a program, One Health, which also, if you read about that One Health program, there you can see that how they actually associate that food related, I would say, issues with health, and then how actually this food waste, you can actually identify that how food waste is contributing into the health issues. So I would recommend you that you should actually go and see what that program is.
Yes, sure, I will. And that's really a huge impact. But actually, we are not like calculating in the monetary term that how much the food wastage is impacting and causing us the money loss in terms of our health as well. So that's,
Yeah.
and I'm
So yeah. So Takwa, question from you that because after COVID-19, like even like your work went virtual. Now most of the people in different part of the world doing virtual work. Like we are hosting virtual meeting like this webinar instead of field or in-person workshop, seminar, or advocacy campaign. People are using online, or information technology based, I would say campaigns or strategies. So related to that, I would like to ask, what do you think in this time, like we have just, I would say, not actually completely control COVID, but at least we control the surge that we had before. So after that, when you see everywhere, everything is going virtual, what is the role of social media, in addressing this food waste? And how we can use social media as a tool to advocate people around this food waste issue.
Okay, all right, good question. Social media is a very powerful tool in this issue, and so we can use it to reduce food waste. Today, everyone has a smartphone, everyone has a small screen, so the communication of the message should be very easy because we want people to know that it's really important to reduce food waste. We have to make them know that it's really important that you have to change your behavior and take action to reduce food waste. Today, we can use social media, like we can use, for example, the key people or the influencers to get at that point. For example, we can use like YouTube, Twitter, Facebook stories, and I don't know, Snapchat. There is plenty of channels in social media that could be very useful. and can make it so easy for us to raise awareness about reducing food waste. For example, if we're gonna talk about influencers that have a huge like influence today on, especially on Instagram and YouTube, if we make like, for example, hashtag or campaigns like hashtag love your freezer, hashtag keep it clean, I mean the plates, if the influencers, for example, make it easy to people to see their daily food consumption habits, how they plan before shopping, what they eat, how much amount of food they put, and then they post pictures on social media with their foods along with the empty plates after finishing the food. So it could be very easy and everyone could be involved with it, right? So it's an easy way to get people to get people know that it's really important that you have to reduce your food waste, especially after COVID-19. Now today we have a lot of problems all over the world, like related to economies. So it's a great time to raise awareness about that about reducing food waste. One more thing is maybe we can use like I don't know, campaigns about using social media campaigns with videos, but it's really important, as I mentioned it, to make it sustainable. Not only trends like for 1 month making trends and posting pictures on Instagram and stories and look at what I'm eating, look my plate, and it's not only like pictures and so it's really important to keep those campaigns like continuously and to make people think that we need to get to reach at that mindset that we need to change our behaviors. And it's really easy by simply planning or managing your food. It's really simple by giving like for example easy receipts or some tips on how to store our food or how to choose the food that needed, or clarifying the food labeling or something like this could be so easy using social media, as it's an easy way and internet is affordable for everyone today and everyone have a small screen and they have smartphones. So it's going to be an easy way to reach the change behavior outcomes that we really desire.
Yeah,
The,
very well actually answered. Yeah, Friha, would you like to add something?
Hello.
your whole explanation was so good that it just somehow pushed me toward an imaginary solution, which I would recommend. I know I know more
We can
from
start it now.
verified thing
We can start it now, right?
so we have a verified account in on Instagram, right? That if an account is verified, there is that blue tick which is showed. Then why not to have that as food wastage verification for people that okay, they are food conscious and they are not wasting any food. That's a like green tick for them. And Instagram,
Well, so like this is very serious thing. Like what you just brought up. Actually, if we start doing so, then there would be, I would say, flood of different things. Actually, everyone like in different social issues and in different dimension gonna rank people on their, like social issues. Like, okay, is he, I would say, obedient? No. If he is, I would say, fair or not. Like there are a lot of them. There's a big checklist. Like it will really become difficult for the people to sustain their life while you're trying to put people into very big difficulty. But like we can do it for the companies. Like we can design some framework for the companies, and we can actually, it could be some kind of index where we can rank companies, restaurants or bakeries or different food related businesses who are involved in food supply chain. We can rank them on the basis of their food wastage, and we can issue a report quarterly, monthly, or maybe semi-annually or annually, whatever would be the I would say frequency. But we can share with the people, okay, if you are eating from that restaurant, look at their
they're
food
right.
wastage report or where they lie in the index. So this could be very good, I would say, dimension where people can work, and even sharing out also working on this, but it's a long process, you know. So thank
But
you
it's
so much
feasible,
for,
I guess, right?
yeah, definitely it's feasible. Like
It's feasible because
there,
yeah, let me add, okay, let me add something. Some studies done in the UK and Austria about how social media can reduce food waste, and the result was really surprising because it's a very easy tool and it can communicate people and connect them easily. And especially the like those millennials and those people who are using TikTok and who are using like Instagram, they are really influenced by, like, let me say, models. You got what I mean? So it could be an
exactly.
easy way and a smart way to use social media to reduce food waste.
Okay, guys. So I have last question for you in a very brief way. Then we have one question from the audience. Then we'll come toward that question. So first of all, I would like to ask you last question. First you, Takwa, and then you, Friha. What do you think how the solution like or the initiative like sharing out can resolve these issues?
All right.
Uh, I
Sharing out is considered.
Go ahead.
Who's the
Go
first?
ahead, Takwa.
All right,
Yeah, how
thank you.
sharing out,
All right,
yeah, how
thank you.
sharing out can address.
Um,
Yeah, go ahead.
all right. Sharing out is okay. Sharing out is a digital platform, which is a smart way to help people connect, to help businesses and people connect easily, to without making those people who are donating food or providing food feel like uncomfortable, or those who are seeking food feeling guilty. So it's like overcoming the challenge of communication because everyone has a smart screen, and like ordering food or like raising their voices about their needs or their the needs about sharing or taking food could be very comfortable using technology this way. And sharing out is considered for me like a part of the nonprofit sector, which has a very big value added in communities and how to create impacts in communities. And it's a very I mean like a tool or a smart tool to make communication fast, efficient, and easy.
Thank you, Takwa. It's your turn, Friha.
Okay, so I really wanted to say that your the sharing out is the really inspiring solution, but I could not like connect this in any question you asked. The first of all, I would say that sharing out is really passionate and somehow appreciating solution to solve the problem in a very innovative way. That okay, there is a food wastage, and as Takwa mentioned, you cannot change the behavior so easily and fastly. So why not to share? And then that's a very, I would say that we taught this to child that sharing is caring. So
Yeah,
why not to care about
exactly.
the environment, care about social issue? So that
Thank
sharing
you.
out, so yeah, I would say that sharing out is a caring or not only control the food wastage, but to show the care to the society and to the people who need that food actually.
Exactly. So very well said, Fariha. And our mission is also, creating communities of good where people cares about other by sharing food. So sharing is
Yes.
definitely caring. So guys, we
Yeah.
have 1 minute and one question. So we talked about, that bread concept where if I want to buy one bread and there is offer and I bought two bread.
Yeah.
So we talked about this decisive marketing, and by this we are going to waste food. There is a question from audience and Mr. Fazal Abbas, and he asked that like, what if we get that extra bread, buy one and that get one with that, and donate that bread with other to other people? What do you think about this?
And can you repeat it,
Like
please?
he said, buy one bread and also get that free bread as well. Okay, bring that and share it with
Uh-huh.
others instead of wasting it. What do you think about it?
I I would add on that it's a conscious decision. It's just not falling for that offer, whether you like buy it for someone else or whether you not buy it. It's just showing that consideration toward your buying decision, towards your money, towards your food wastage. So it's just respecting and be considerate about your decisions and your actions, whether it's your money, whether it's your food, and all the other food wastage actions. So it's just be considerate and be conscious about your actions. And yeah, definitely sharing is a good idea, as sharing is the caring. But if
Exactly.
you're doing it consciously, then it's the right thing to do.
Exactly. And
All
you can
right.
go buy that food and share one by using sharing out platform. Okay, Takwa, do you want to share something on
Okay.
this?
He said, what if I buy one, I get that one free, and then share it with another one? I would say, what if I buy one and get that free one, and then I will not find someone to share it with him? So it would be wasted food, right? So
Okay.
why buying it if you're not sure if you have someone to share it with him, or there is like possibility to be wasted. So I
Okay,
would
guys.
say,
Just to
or I
stop
would
you here.
suggest to not buy it. Hmm.
Okay. Okay, guys. Just in 1 minute, I'm going to read that question and just answer it in very brief way. So there is a question. Instead of advocating the consumer to not go for buy one get one offer, if you don't need extra one, why don't we advocate them to go for the offer but share the extra food with a needy if you don't need it? Won't it be good, as it is saving food wastage as well as serving a needy? Just in one line or two lines.
Yes, it would
Because
be, first of all, it would be a good option as it would be serving a needy. But the point goes back to that if you're doing it consciously to meet the need of us, like the needy, then that's the best option to do. But if you're just falling for the discount offer, and as Takwa mentioned, and later you're deciding that, okay, I'll share it with someone who need it, that's not a right approach.
okay, got your
Yeah.
point. And
I
Takwa, you?
I see if you have like some organizations or some agencies or nonprofits who can help you to donate that extra one, or to provide the needy people with those extra food that you bought because of the discount, I would say yes, we can go for it. But if you don't have
Okay.
someone who can get it, why going for it? Save your money.
Ashwin,
Okay.
I would like to add, okay, please buy that bread and list on the sharing account and share with.
Yeah, exactly. And Sharing Out will be live by tomorrow. So tomorrow we are going to launch Sharing Out, and you can download it from Play Store and hopefully in 1 week from iTunes, I mean Apple Store as well. So thank you so much, guys, for joining this amazing discussion today, and putting light on this I would say very severe issue. And believe me, after having this discussion, I'm very enlightened about that how we are wasting money as well, how we can use communication as a tool to reduce this cost, or I would say to turn that 1 trillion cost into 700 billion opportunity. So thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you to our audience for watching us today and for your question. Okay, have a good night. Bye
Thank you.
bye.
Thank you,
You. Thank
Ahsan, for having us. Thank you. Bye.
you.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.